Assalamu alaikum. I'm Malik Hodge, and a warrior of the Midwest, and a messenger of the covenant, representing the messenger of the covenant, the breaker of the seven seals, the self-taught one, Master Suleiman, who has given us the gospel of the Injil with the Injil key that gives us the understanding of the unsealed scriptures. July the 21st, 2022. This is Up Late with Malik Hodge, nightly news report where we take current events and give you the understanding through the lens of the unsealed scriptures, or through the understanding of the Injil. So tonight, let's get started with Sri Lanka. This country where they had Sri Lanka raised anti-government protest camp as new president takes over. Sri Lanka security forces raided a protest camp outside the president's office early Friday, hours after the country's new leader was sworn in. At least 34 people was injured. Rioters reported citing protest organizations. If confirmed, it would mark one of the harshest crackdowns since demonstrations engulfed the South Asian country where the economy has collapsed. So what's taking place is they're claiming that the former president or the former leader and his family, the people are saying that they were corrupt, that they stole the money of the countries, and the country is their market has collapsed. That the money has been mishandled, and their economy has collapsed. So the people are upset. And wanted the prior leader to resign, and as he was to resign, they wanted to they wanted to charge him with a crime. However, they needed him to resign. They couldn't really charge him while he was the president, so they was trying to get him to resign, and then they was going to charge him. However, he left the country. I can't think of the word. However, he took off and left the country, and left the country in control with his with someone else, the vice president of the vice. So now they've had a new president come in, and they've attacked him. They burnt down the former president's home, and when he tried to pass over it to like the VP or something, they attacked it, and they're still rioting and in the country. It's just unsettled, and they're saying that it's worse. It's the worst that they've ever seen, and they'll have to really crack down. But Sri Lanka is just, this has been going on for weeks now, for a couple of weeks in Sri Lanka. This rioting and burning down the president's mansion, and the people are really upset, and they really want some answers, and the government keeps trying to install new leaders, and the people are so upset with the prior leaders and the leadership period that they're not even leaders. Is they're attacking the new leaders, and the people are just upset. So they really have to get control of what's taking place. However, it's something that's ongoing, that keeps coming up, and the pressure and the people over there, they're really, excuse me, fed up with their leadership, and they have the right to be with their leaders causing their economy to crash, and they're calling them thieves, and basically that's what's taking place. A lot of these nations are thieves. A lot of these governments, a lot of these officials, a lot of these politicians, they're living off the people. So it just a topic that keeps returning to one of the headlines in the news, that in looking at the headlines, that this Sri Lanka um, topic is really, if you get in there and read it, is and see what's all taking place. I mean, it's just a real um, situation with um, looking at how the interior of a country, when the people are fed up and the government has is has been really overridden, and they have lost control, and it's an insurrection inside the country from the people. They're literally fed up with the government, and the government can't even really give power to another leader because the people are not accepting. They're not in agreement or accepting the new leader, so they're still riding. They're still upset. So it's just something to be mindful of, and that looking at that, you see that afar. However, this type of thing is actually happening in America. With the Roe v. Wade and the insurrection, the January 6th, the Georgia, what is that Georgia, it's a court battle going on in Georgia to overturn some government things, but it's something that we're going to see in the near future right here in America, and that's from the NGO. This type of scenario will be taking place here in the States. So it's just one of those things that to watch and see how it's affecting a country, to know that this type of thing is going to affect America and bring and part of America's destruction. So let's move on to our next topic. Push it back. So our next topic is the President of America, Joe Biden, 79 years old, was diagnosed with COVID-19 Thursday morning. However, they said he should fare well because he's had his proper doses of the jabs and the boosters, and his last one was in March. I think they said in March. However, he's been diagnosed that he has COVID-19, and they shared that he has mild symptoms, but he's still doing he's still doing all his duties, his presidential duties, and he's doing all his meetings via satellite from the Oval Office. So this COVID new strand, the BA.5, we see that it's still around, and not just only around, that it's surging. This new strand is really surging. The president has it. And LA County has a surge in COVID-19 cases. Said 25% of the students that just returned back to the schools have tested positive for the BA.5 variant, because it is highly contagious, is what they're sharing. Said over 1,300 people are in the hospital in LA County with this new variant. They are looking to bring back the mask mandate. They said they will probably have that back by the end of, say, August. So this this plague it seems that it comes and goes. However, we know that there's nothing that can really be done. It mutates and it moves faster than anything that they know of. They can't, it's this plague is something sent to kill the firstborn of Egypt, and they keep attempting to fight it, and they have proven, it's been proven that even with the jabs, taking 1, 2, with the boosters, that it still does not keep you from contracting the virus or the plague. So the take on that is to look at what is going on with the plague, how you should be looking at it. And this is the understanding from the unsealed scripture, that this plague has been sent to take out Egypt. However, it's to pass over those that have the blood of the Lamb. So it's already been shared that when the initial virus or the initial plague broke out in 2020 or the end of 2019, that there were black doctors and nurses working hands-on with those infected with the plague. And those doctors and nurses didn't contract it. However, the Asian doctors, the Caucasian doctors, they all contracted. A lot of them contracted the plague, and some died from just being in the vicinity around and caught the plague. However, in looking on, Wuhan itself said they believed that black people were immune to the plague. So we're looking on, and it's been stated, I have a video up, proof that they share that they don't understand why in these poor or undeveloped countries, African countries, where black people live, that the plague is that there's no hospitalization, there's no outbreaks in the people being sick. Then they went so far to say, this is a younger country, when Africa is the oldest. It doesn't make sense. They're like flipped it, like it's a young country. I mean, how is the motherland all North Africa, South? So how is it what they're sharing is it's a young country. However, they didn't understand why the whole continent and other African countries and other continents wasn't contracting. They didn't have a problem, or they didn't see any outbreaks or anything of the plague. And it was baffling them. They couldn't understand why it was only the highly developed richer countries, meaning the Caucasian countries, that was having this outbreak, and it was being affected by the plague and was being decimated, and the plague was killing them. So the plague is still ever much alive right now. As you see, it's back at the it's back in the media. It's back on the people's mind because it's causing people to get sick. They're calling this strand highly contagious. And it's letting you know what the unsealed scriptures share, that it will keep on. It's not going to, well, it will keep re-emerging and putting pressure and strain on Egypt, on the Caucasian nation, and that's what it keeps doing. Another thing that it's been seen, they said they first seen it in South Africa. So we know that is where, Caucasian part of Africa, where the most Caucasians stay at in Africa. And now it's also been, false Israel has also seen three cases of the new BA.5 variant. So the plague is still making its way, still causing pressure, and still is being applied, as the scripture said, it's not going to go. All these things is just going to get, one plague and then another plague, and these things, the plagues are not going to go away. They're just going to intensify until they cause them to let us go, to it's going to make them, because everything that we have done, they have never let nothing. They have never changed their mind. See, everything that happens with the black man and woman in America, with America, every step of the way, they had to be made to let us. So this is just another case, and they're going to keep experiencing these plagues and the effects of these plagues, and witnessing the effects of these plagues, and watching the plague decimate them, kill them off, have them sick, and these plagues is going to keep on magnifying themselves until the plagues make them. And that's what the scripture said, that they're going to be made to let us go or kick us out. They're gonna want to get rid. They're gonna get made. They're not doing this willingly. They have never done anything willingly. They have never admitted and stopped their anguish, and evil intent has never changed. They have never done anything from themselves. They're nothing, and that can easily be proven. Everything that we have in America, we had to fight and take it. So that's that on the understanding on that. And Joe Biden in this this having COVID. So Let's move on to our next. Our next topic is a second. All right. Here we are. Our next topic is the the, the war in Russia with Ukraine. They shared that the war in Ukraine, Russia has upped its assaults and have shelled, or they've found the spot and sheltered hard where NATO weapons were stored or coming in at. So they hit that area hard, and it's in, what city is it? And the city of it's hot. Kenyan, Ukraine, Western weapons deliveries, and weapon deliveries, and Ukraine strikes on Russian armed deposit are forcing Russia to largely halt its advance. However, Russia hit a city where these NATO weapon depositories were, and they hit the missiles hit a school and a hospital, and 3 people were killed, but it was killed in a residential area. The missiles also hit a residential area. However, it's a war, and the residential area is in the city. And the city is where these weapons that are coming through, these all types of weapons that is being supplied by America, Britain, and these NATO countries. So they targeted to destroy this depository, this area where they have these large depositories of weapons. So if an area of civilians was hit, then you're in a war. So, they had shown that saying that they was upset and that they keep making things sound like um, someone's doing something outlandish, and this is like Russia's doing something against um, like they're damn near having a war crime when they're at war. You have weapons coming in that you're about to use to shoot at them or to destroy something, and you have these weapons and they're shooting and bombing to destroy the weapons. And if there's innocent bystanders or civilians in the area, then what do you think is going to happen? The bombs. I mean, that's just like bullets don't have no eyes. The bombs don't either. They blow up. You're around. You're in the area. You might get blew up. I mean, it doesn't make sense how every time something takes place, they like pull up this propaganda as if Russia's doing something that's this is like it's a war crime or something. However, they have shared that this war is mainly being they're trying to Russia's trying to has considered its tactics that has been used and is saying that they have restrained themselves from destroying certain things that they would usually destroy, and that America and NATO is the ones pushing the fuel on. They're the one adding fuel to the fire to keep this going. And it doesn't make sense because when you look at what's taking place in the background, you have countries like Ukraine is being split up. It's saying that Poland is taking Western Ukraine, Russia is taking a part of Ukraine, and it's being split up. But the people are still fighting for their independence, but their country in the background, it's being split up. So, and Russia said, they're not even, they have considered, they haven't really even done remotely what they're capable of doing. They're holding back. They don't want to do this. However, this whole war, they're sharing that this was NATO forced this to happen, and that Britain and America wants to see the EU and Russia in a full-scale war. And they're pushing and NATO is supplying, and pretty soon they're trying to just have an all-out war with NATO, because if the EU and Russia goes to war, then the NATO countries are going to join into it. So it's NATO against Russia. However, just these are the topics that are that are ongoing. The war in Ukraine, for the last couple of weeks, Sri Lanka, with their turmoil going on, and President Biden, President Joe Biden. One day he says he has cancer. On public, they don't, and you know they sent the White House scrambling, trying to answer those questions, and then the next day he has COVID-19. So that goes to show that no matter how many jabs that you have, how many boosters, those things are not can't. It can be shared that the boosters, the jabs, doesn't keep you from getting COVID-19, and they're giving him some more medicine, some more jabs, and they said that he should fare. He's had his jabs, and they should keep him from getting bedridden or ill, or keep him out the hospital and keep him from passing. So it should just be mild symptoms. But these are the topics of today. Didn't really want to, I want to make sure that when we're speaking, that the topics are, it's not no news to be talking about. News only relevant to what's taking place in the world through the viewpoint of the angel, or through the viewpoint of the truth, or from the Abrahamic covenant, that is coming more and more into vision, so that the topics are being used to give you insight on what's happening in the world, and how you can take it and see what's taking place from the unsealed scriptures perspective, so that you can weigh the truth that is being given to you, that you can actually see it happening, and you will be understanding, just like what you're going to see. It gives you a view, like Sri Lanka. When you see that type of breakdown in the government, in the system, that's just giving you just looking on at that's what you're going to be seeing in America here real soon. That type of breakdown, that type of systematic breakdown, to where the people, the government, is going to be at odds, in total odds. This group is going to be against this group. The demons is going to want to take America. The Republicans is going to be at the throats of the Democrat. It's just going to be a whole lot of, the pressure is going to have a whole lot of things taking place, where it's going to be chaos in America, like what's taking place over there. And the people You think the insurrection was something January 6th? I mean, it's just giving you an insight of what the angel shared was going to take place. Then the plague that's not going anywhere, that's been here since 2020, that's not affecting the black man and woman. They have shared it themselves. We also posted a video or repost earlier today. I will post it again. And we're going to tune up our show and make it so that I can bring you some video footage as we speak, or show you some things on the topics that we're on. However, the plague is not going anywhere. I mean, it's on a resurge. It's surging right now, and it's really keeping that pressure. That's pressure that has been since 2020, an ongoing pressure that is causing them is to crush their structure, because they keep trying to find a way to keep it at bay. However, it's not working, and it's causing a problem with mass mandates, schools, businesses. The plague shut down the economy because it affects them. It affects it affects how they live. They have to change. They can't be out drinking and partying and doing what they love to do. So when they're doing that, it puts them more at risk. So it puts pressure on them. So because they have to stay at home, they have to quarantine or keep a distance from each other. That's a pressure on their system, on their regular ways of life. They can't drink and do all the things that they want to do, and because that's the way that they keep from being infected. And when these infection rate run up, it causes a problem with the economy. Period. Point blank. Just like they saying, arise down there worried about mass mandates. They're worried about schools. They're worried about how they're going to get people to follow the mandates. Who's going to make sure that the mandates are carried out. So all these things come to mind, and it's a problem that consistently keeps coming up that they can't get away from. So it just gives you, it's still a sign of the truth that that is the plague. It's not affecting the black man and the woman around the world. It's not disturbing none of our um, systems or nothing. So it's just a consistent sign for you to understand what's taking place. Where is it all coming from? The Abrahamic covenant. And this vision of the Abrahamic covenant is what's being brought in. Everything, all these things are occurring because of the Abrahamic covenant. And this America is being judged for their 466 years of terror and horror that they have put the black man and woman through. The from if from in and this is what's taking place is you're seeing the consequence of this infliction. They've been this 466 years of infliction that we have been going through, and the consequence and is what they're being judged for. However, what the scriptures shared that would take place, that after the 400 years this plague will come out, it's the plague came out on time. The plague is not affecting us. The plague is keep resurging. You should have your mind, this sign should keep putting a light into your mind to see what's taking place, why it's taking place. It should that light, that plague keep on shocking and keep hitting them. It keeps coming back. It keeps it's resonance that it keeps boom, and then it boom, and it should be causing you to look and be able to see. Okay, Allah's keeping His word. After the 400 years, the plague hit. The breaker of the seven seals is here and speaking to us, giving us the information we need to be successful, giving us the Injil, the Gospel of Revelations, with the Injil key that gives you understanding of the unsealed scriptures. All these things, and giving you a play-by-play, giving you understanding of what, why, when, and everything that is being shared is coming more and more into vision every day. And this, if we're not being affected by it, and they're telling you, then we're the only ones that can bear witness to what the Abrahamic of being taken from a land and brought to another land and inflicted for 400 years. So when you're looking at all these things, when you're coming and taking these current events, they only are showing you what's taking place in the world through and making this Abrahamic, the vision of the Abrahamic covenant, come into view more and more. So you are seeing the war in the Middle East. You're that you any day now, that's the war that's going to be kicked off. The war between Michael and his angels and the dragon and his angels. Michael being Master Farah Muhammad, his angels, Iran and Syria, the dragon, the House of Saud, his angels, Britain and America, false Israel, and the other 6 Sunni countries that have joined them up under the Abraham Accord, made an alliance against the true seed of Abraham. So when you're seeing all these things that that the scriptures spoke that will happen like this, and we are making clear, you're being given revelations with the angel key and giving understanding and bringing, it's revealing all things, and it's shared with you. You know, we're showing it to you through every aspect. We're using what's real in the world. We're giving you explanations and things to look at. When you see this is what you're looking at in Sri Lanka, of people of the government really lost control, and the people, you're going to see that in America real soon. That's what the scripture share is going to be. You think that that what happened in January 6th is something. Watch what's to come at this abomination of desolation. The shock of the hour. What's going to take place after that? Inside of America, that's why it's called the shock of the hour. It's going to shock the minds and hearts of the people around the world, in America, outside of America. It's going to shock them. And a lot of people going to fall dead from heart attacks, aneurysms, stroke out. They gonna just be ready to just fall out. That's why it's called the shock of the hour. However, Up Late with Malik Haj, this is what it's all about. Current events, giving you the understanding through an angel perspective, and letting you see that everything that we're speaking and sharing with you is the truth. You know, so we'll be back here tomorrow night. These topics, brothers and sisters, I'm really digging to find topics that keeps us knowing what's going on in the real world and how that is going to affect us and affect our lives, and are going to bring light on the vision of the Abrahamic covenant and the vision of the unsealed scriptures. So there's only a few things being spoken on that is valuable to us to speak on. So it's a little quiet in false Israel right now, in searching. However, we know when there's quiet, something's moving, and we know from the angel perspective, any day now, any day. What happened yesterday is still a problem, or still is affecting what's taking place today. So we know what happened yesterday. So any day, they have already said they have to make their move. They have to make a military strike. And now, you might not look at or see it like this, but they're shook. How strong is the leader of America right now? He has COVID. He said he has cancer. He said they're diagnosing him with COVID. These things mean something. You know, and when they see your leader weak, decrepit, old, sick, you know, America, false Israel and these other countries are looking on. What is happening, it is definitely putting pressure on them. So you're going to know that you're going to see something soon. And from where we're sitting, we're still at any moment, any day now, the abomination of desolation, the shock of the hour is going to begin, which is going to bring on the War of Armageddon. With that, I'm going to bring it to a close. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you tomorrow at the same time. I'm going to greet you as I came in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu Alaikum.